Hey, good morning. I'm Patricia Murphy. It's Monday. This is Seattle Now. Tomorrow is Election Day. Your right to vote in a local election is enshrined in the U.S. Constitution.
Amendment 10. The powers not delegated to the United States by the Constitution nor prohibited by it to the states are reserved to the states respectively or to the people.
In a minute, we'll talk with U.S. Documents librarian Cass Hartnett about why, for the past 20 years, she's invited the public to the UW to participate in a live reading of the Constitution. But first, let's get you caught up. You have one more day to return your ballot. If you're not registered, you can still do that in person at vote centers throughout King County, even on Election Day tomorrow. In Seattle, there's one at Lumen Field Events Center and at the Hub Student Engagement Center on the UW campus. Ballots are due by 8 p.m. tomorrow. State lawmakers are considering a new income tax on the state's top earners. The Washington State Standard reports Democrats are discussing the idea as a solution to the state's ongoing budget issues. The proposal would place a nearly 10% tax on income over $1 million. Any income tax proposal would have to clear big legislative and legal hurdles, as prior attempts have been struck down by the state Supreme Court. And it's a do-or-die match for the Seattle Sounders tonight in the first round of the MLS playoffs. The Sounders face Minnesota United FC at Lumen Field. The Sounders lost Game 1 on penalty kicks after a scoreless 90 minutes. The Sounders have to win tonight to stay alive in the best-of-3 series. If they're victorious, they'll play a deciding Game 3 on Saturday in Minnesota. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now.
We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility,
provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America.
If your ballot is still sitting on your kitchen table, it's okay. There's still time to fill it out and get to a local ballot box or even register in person. Sure, voting takes time, and it's easy to take your right to vote for granted. But consider that at one time in this country, only property-owning men could vote. It took many amendments and the Voting Rights Act to guarantee the right to vote for all citizens.
Amendment 15, passed by Congress February 26, 1869, ratified February 3, 1870. Section 1. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. Section 2. The Congress shall have the power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation.
For 20 years, University of Washington Libraries has hosted an annual reading of the U.S. Constitution. People sign up to read a portion of the document aloud in front of an audience.
Amendment 1. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Malabiga Jagannathan has been participating in the Constitution Read Aloud since 2019.
I think every year is just funny. I always try and sign up and try to get the First Amendment. Haven't been lucky yet to do that, but maybe next year.
Sure, the First Amendment is well known and pretty popular. When it was her turn, Malabica read the 19th Amendment.
Amendment 19, passed by Congress June 4th, 1919, ratified August 18th, 1920. The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation.
She says she takes comfort in the Constitution.
For me, I think it's just a kind of a nice reminder that, especially in times when we might feel like we're not in control of what's happening, that we are, and that there is power in that, and it's collective power, and kind of tapping into that. again, a little cheesy, but in times like these, I need a little cheesiness.
The power of the U.S. Constitution is only as strong as the laws that uphold it.
Amendment 7, in suits at common law where the value in controversy shall exceed $20, the right of trial by jury shall be preserved, and no fact tried by a jury shall be otherwise re-examined in any court of the United States than according to the rules of the common law.
Reader Misty Shock Rule says Amendment 7, which outlines the right to a jury trial, feels especially important.
I think that's definitely relevant now when we see people, being taken from this country without due process.
For Misty, this Read Aloud event is a way for her to reaffirm her belief and faith in the ideas that the country was founded on.
I don't agree with what's going on with this country right now, but I don't believe in what's going on right now, but I believe in this country. Believe it or not. And what it stands for, I'm a naturalized citizen. So, this country feels like a gift to me in some way because there could be a reality I could have lived in another country. And so I really just believe in the ideals that this country stands for, and I want that for us right now.
The sentiment resonates with Malabika, whose family has its own immigration story.
Being a naturalized citizen, I often think about what brought my family to this country, and that I hate to use this term, but I had the what could have been in another place, and I see that, and it really kind of brings me back to I want to be connected to the values that at the core that I really do, sort of just like Misty said, I believe in the ideals of this country even when it is really, really hard, and I will say it is really hard right now. So. Well, okay. Boy, did not think I would. Crying over the Constitution was not on my my list for that day.
The Constitution can be a moving document. It's moved Judy Howard to return time and time again to participate almost since the beginning.
The contemporary political environment really makes a difference into what this experience is like. And given the fact that the Constitution seems to be almost not holding right now, I wanted to be here.
Article 2, Section 1. The executive power shall be vested in a President of the United States of America. He shall hold his office during the term of 4 years, and together with the Vice President, chosen for the same term, be elected as follows. Each state shall appoint, in such manner as the legislature thereof may direct, a number of electors equal to the whole number of senators and representatives to which the state may be entitled in the Congress. But no senator or representative or person holding an office of trust or profit under the United States shall be appointed an elector.
As a document, the Constitution is comprehensive. Kate Weir read one of the drier sections, but she's not mad about it.
And it's true, not all parts of it are interesting, but the whole thing, I think, is a very important document for the country. And this seemed like a timely time to memorialize it, to think about it.
Representatives and direct taxes shall be apportioned among the several states which may be included within this union, according to their respective numbers, which shall be determined by adding to the whole number of free persons, including those bound to service for a term of years, and excluding Indians not taxed, 3/5 of all other persons. This infamous 3/5 clause in the Constitution was eliminated in 1868 by the 14th Amendment.
The U.S. Constitution is by and for the people. It's often called a living document, yet law books are filled with interpretations of what that means. And the Constitution itself has changed over the years with new amendments. U.S. government documents librarian Cass Hartnett thought about that a couple of years ago when she heard UW American Ethnic Studies professor Dr. Latasha Levy open with this idea.
She talked about is when you hear a phrase like, for us and for our posterity, whose posterity was being laid out or thought of in 1787. So she challenged us to bring the aspirations of the Constitution to life and be forward-facing and not to let, as she put it, not to let the words in the Constitution blind us.
The annual event is a good reminder, but it's also the law. Cass Hartnett says in 2004, former West Virginia Senator Robert Byrd's legislation required all educational institutions that receive federal funding to hold an educational program about the U.S. Constitution on September 17th each year.
And he was saying in 2004 that he was dismayed. For a long while, I have viewed with dismay each and every assault on the separation of powers and the continual grasping and groping for more power by presidents of both political parties, but never with such alarm as now. And
what year was that, Cass?
2004.
Why did you read that?
I read that, and it stopped me in my tracks because I've just never seen such polarization as we have now. And the Constitution is something that belongs to all of us, that we all can amend, and that many of us are taking an oath to uphold. So let's just continue to learn about it and question it and know that we have a role with it.
Here's the rest of my conversation with Cass about the importance of Americans reading and understanding the Constitution. We're living in challenging times, Cass Hartnett. Mm-hmm. What do you think people should understand about the Constitution that they don't perhaps understand in 2025?
It's a living document. It is meant to be amended. I feel like the more familiar people can be with the actual language, it gives us a chance to ponder and reflect, what does this mean for me personally?
It's part of most every aspect of our life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's easy, I think, to forget that until you're faced with a situation where maybe you're witnessing rights, constitutional rights being violated. That's when we think about the Constitution. Mm-hmm. We don't think about how much it gives us. We often think when it's being violated.
Yeah. And good for us for caring.
Do you think people read the Constitution anymore? I mean, we are living in a world where we're delivered information in small, powerful bits every single day. Mm-hmm. This is not a thrilling read. No. It's an important read, but it is not thrilling.
Well, when I do my little intro to the event and make sure people know where to stand when they're getting ready to read their 5 sentences, and ideally you have 100 people reading 5 sentences, it takes 75 minutes to read this document. It's not long. We should take 75 minutes a year to hear these words. And I like what it's moving to hear the different texture of people's voices. Yeah. I've had people come and say, well, I speak really accented English. I don't, you probably don't want me. No, we want to hear the different textures and different approaches that people have. And when you hear it every year, you hear something different. You hear different reverberations. Never thought about the emoluments clause.
The president shall, at stated times, receive for his services a compensation which shall neither be increased nor diminished during the period for which he shall have been elected. And he shall not receive within that period any other emolument from the United States or any of them.
It's the part that talks about conflict of interest so that elected officials are not making a profit.
We've been talking about this, not a page turner, super sacred, important document to our democracy. I think that there might be people who could use permission to say, hey, maybe you haven't read this Constitution, but now is a good time. Now is a good time. What would you say to someone who's never read the Constitution or dipped into it even?
I would say read it in a way that you can also get context on. So in other words, I think actually, I'm going to say something funny, which is just straight reading it does not give you context. It's been kind of hard for me to sort of admit that in a way to myself, but it's really true.
Cass Hartnett is the U.S. Documents Librarian at the University of Washington. Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you for having me.
Go Constitution.
Yeah.
Appreciate you listening to Seattle Now. Here's another reminder to take your ballot to a box by 8 p.m. tomorrow. Today's episode was produced by Caroline Chamberlain Gomez and Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers. Our production team also includes Andy Hurst, Vaughn Jones, and Paige Browning. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Patricia Murphy. See you soon.